Um, our next presenter is Mirey Lopez, the General Manager, Sustainability, West Africa Resources Limited. Mirey is an environmental and social specialist with more than 15 years experience working with the extractives industry, regulators, and financial institutions. Mirey is currently responsible for WAF's sustainability reporting and managing the company's environmental and social studies. Her expertise in environmental and social impact assessments to national and international industry standards, including the Equator Principles, IFC Performance Standards, the AFDB Operational Safeguards, amongst others. Her professional experience includes working with mining companies from exploration through to closure, assisting them with environmental permitting and due diligence, social investment planning, community consultation, and stakeholder engagement. Mirey has worked on the ground with gold mining projects across West Africa and Australasia. She has a bachelor's degree in biological sciences from the University of Alberta and a master's in environmental management from the Royal Roads University, and holds a certificate in engagement from the International Association for Public Participation. Please join me in welcoming Mirey.
Thank you. It is great to be here today. Before I begin, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the delegation from Burkina Faso. I would like to, in particular, remercier le monsieur, honorable le monsieur ministre Boussem, pour votre vision. C'est un plaisir de travailler avec le gouvernement de l'industrie minière à Burkina Faso. Et nous espérons de tirer profit de votre visite et de vos conseils et de vos observations. Merci et bienvenue. Forward-looking statements. This is an aerial overview of Sanbrado and the M5 open pit. We are tracking to guidance, having produced 113,000 ounces in the first half of 2023, and they're tracking below guidance on costs. Our team has built an unhedged resource base of 12.6 million ounces through successful exploration and smart acquisitions. All of our resources are open pit constrained at US $1,850 per ounce, which is below the current spot gold price. About half of our resource base has been converted to reserves at a conservative gold price of US $1,400, which means that WAF is a sustainable, high-margin producer with long mine lives. Sanbrado and Kiaka have mine plans of over 15 years. We're aiming to produce over 200,000 ounces until Kiaka comes online in mid-2025, at which point we will double our production to over 400 ounces of gold per annum. While we have a lot of exploration success historically, we are focused on delivering the Kiaka project on time and on schedule, and on budget, I should say. So while we have a large land holding around both Sanbrado and Kiaka, we are only looking at near mine targets over the next 18 months. Our market cap is just below 900 million Australian dollars, and as Richard would say, it is low. However, the current instability in West Africa has affected our valuation. We have met or beaten guidance for 10 consecutive quarters, and we are sure that our value will come back as we get closer to pouring gold at Kiaka. So why West Africa? West Africa is one of the leading regions globally with some of the leading producers. Burkina Faso is the second largest producer in West Africa. Globally, the region is top for gold discoveries over the last 10 years, fastest growing region to permit development projects, lowest construction capital intensity, and recent builds are all on schedule and on or below budget. Where are our projects? So we are located, we'll see if the pointer works, maybe not. Our projects are located in central and southern Burkina Faso. And thankfully, today, we have not had any security incidents around our projects, nor interruptions to production. However, there have been some security challenges in the north and the eastern portions of the country, which the government has been very active on. Recently, the government has recruited and trained 5,000 troops and more than 50,000 voluntary defense force. The government, led by the interim President Captain Traoré, has been very active as well in the border regions with Mali and Niger, and we remain optimistic that the situation will improve. Now, usually, Richard would give this presentation. However, we thought it would be a good opportunity to highlight the benefits of industrial mining in Burkina Faso when done together with international partnership. And in this instance, it's WAF, it's our investors, and it's our financiers. We aim to be a solid partner with our stakeholders and are committed to paying our fair share in taxes and in royalties. All of our work, whether it is exploration, mining, or investment in our communities, is done to the highest standards. And our commitment is to integrate sustainability into our operations, beyond production, beyond closure, for a positive mine legacy. And this is where I can put my notes away for the start of the ESG portion. We have 3 main projects on the go at the moment. Sembrado has all of its environmental permits in place. It has an environmental and social management system aligned to ISO standard 14001. And we went through an ITE process in 2019 that raised our documentation to the Equator Principles and to the IFC performance standards. Fast forward to 2022, we are going through another ITE process as a part of the financing for the construction of the Kiaka project. And the response has been overwhelmingly positive from the reviewers. No high-risk environmental or social elements were found, placing us in an excellent position to apply the systems that we have at Sembrado, at Toega, and Kiaka. Toega was awarded its environmental permit earlier this year, and we have applied for its mining license. Kiaka has its mining permit, and we are currently renewing its environmental certificate. Some highlights from 2022. We paid more than 6.6 million into the local development fund. We have paid more than, or invested more than 2.8 million on community initiatives. 35 million was paid to employees in wages and benefits. And more than 86% was spent on goods and services in Burkina Faso. Our TRIFR per million hours worked was 1.73. And we were recognized at ADU last year for having the best innovation in corporate social development, as well as winning Miner of the Year in 2022. The people that make this happen do this through collaboration, cross-project collaboration, and mentorship. At Sembrado alone, we have a total workforce of more than 1,400 personnel. More than 90% in 2022, more than 90% were Burkinabe. 50% were from the local community areas. We have 20% female representation across the company, which is above industry norms. And we have 27% female representation in senior management positions. And I'm joined today by 2 lovely women, the head of health and safety at Sembrado and the commercial manager. And we achieve diversity not through setting quotas, but by employment practices that are founded in recognizing technical merit, competency, talent, experience, and having a culture of inclusion. WAF is committed to social investment and the Sustainable Development Goals. We use the umbrella of the Sustainable Development Goals to guide where we will invest our programs in consultation with the communities and our stakeholders to design programs with them that are appropriate to the local level, to the local communities. So think global, act local. We have spent cumulatively 6.2 billion invested in community projects and donations. Since the start of operations at Sembrado, we have contributed 1.7 million to the local development management fund. And under the education umbrella and the hygiene and health umbrella, we have built 3 schools We've furnished and provided electricity to 5 schools. Now, what that means is that it's not just youth and children that can attend school. It has now provided the opportunity for adults to take lessons, literacy lessons, in the evenings. It is a space that can be used to train more than 250 women in French lessons. We have provided training or facilitated training of more than 300 women and 300 youth in various trades and provided them with equipment to start their trades. We've built health centers and health education, have done health education campaigns in partnership with NGOs. Our local employment and local procurement policies and plans prioritize hiring and spending goods and services in our impacted communities. In 2022, we spent more than $300 million on goods and services in Burkina Faso. And we're building skills and starting operation readiness for Kiaka early. So doing a skills survey late last year to now planning between human resources, head of operations, and our community relations teams to get a workforce prepared that is ready for when Kiaka comes online, with the potential for training opportunities at Sombrado. Again, cross-project collaboration and mentorship. Now, in most jurisdictions, resettlement for a mine development project is unavoidable. And so we have benefited from expertise of international specialists that specialize on the ground, that have experience in Burkina Faso with resettlement to international standards, such as the IFC Performance Standard 5. At Sombrado, the resettlement program is complete. We moved 740 people and built 290 houses. We supplied them with water management structures, sanitation, and cultivation plots. And now we're in a position that we can apply the lessons learned and the experience from that process to the Kiaka and the Toega resettlement, in addition to conducting visioning studies. So the image you see in the top right-hand corner is a schematic of one of the resettlement sites for Kiaka that was designed together with a national architect, the community that will be moved, as well as the host community. It provides for green spaces, meeting places, schools, and health facilities. Our livelihood restoration activities are focused on sustainable economic activities that are beyond just the immediate needs of the mine. Again, looking with a long-term vision. Training and the program's delivery is done in partnership with national NGOs and social agencies. At Sombrado, we had 20 projects as part of the livelihood restoration program that spanned seed and fodder production, agricultural value chain programs, seed improvement programs, soil erosion, climate resilience. 15 of those projects have been implemented, and the remainder are more than 80% complete. The first satisfaction and technical survey is underway, and we're going to take the lessons learned from those and the findings from that survey to make improvements in the current programs where we can, and apply them to planning the livelihood restoration programs at Kiaka and Toega. So we're in an excellent position because we're not starting from scratch. We have a solid base to work from. Our environmental performance is led by a staff of more than 40 departmental personnel of varying specialties who ensure that we have a comprehensive environmental monitoring program. They set themselves a target of raising 20,000 seedlings in the plant nursery, and this year they exceeded that by the end of the first quarter. We have averted more than 250,000 tons of waste from disposal. More than 120 tons of food waste has been donated to local pig farmers. We have generated $84,000 through the community waste recycling program and reinvested that back into the community development projects. And we're actively implementing the global industry standard on tailings management. Now we'll focus on 2 environmental areas that are important to our operations. Some of our projects, such as Kiaka, are found near ecologically important areas. And so we are getting on the front foot of that and setting up an outreach program where we're working together with national and international institutions and NGOs to support research of significant areas for biodiversity restoration. in our region. We're applying the IFC Performance Standard 6 in developing biodiversity management plan, a biodiversity action plan, and going beyond that to developing a WAF biodiversity policy and strategy that will unify our approach to biodiversity preservation and ecosystem services. Finally, progressive rehabilitation and reforestation. The Sombrado Nursery, as I mentioned, had a target of 20,000 seedlings. The species selected for these is done jointly with community and government technical services. The inputs are made on site. In 2022, 8,000 plants from the nursery were donated to community reforestation projects and schools, and we make an annual donation of $3,500 to the National and Provincial Tree Planting Day. The nursery is integral to our mine closure and our post-closure vision. We've contributed more than $1.9 million to the National Rehabilitation Fund, and we are focused on 3 primary areas for rehabilitation at the moment, using a 5-year mine plan. Rehabilitation of bare soils previously disturbed by illegal artisanal mining activities and inactive mine sites. Currently, the Sombrado M1 waste rock dump is already in the process of revegetation, where we have seeded 10 hectares with starter species and planted more than 11,500 trees. This program for the M1 waste rock dump rehabilitation only started 1 year ago. And the third area is plantations in rain-fed agriculture and agroforestry areas with low regeneration, which use the ZAY technique combined with modern scientific agroforestry knowledge. This slide just shows the progression of the M1 waste rock dump rehabilitation. And so it shows in the top corner there, the slopes being battered down, all the way through to the bottom, where we see a healthy, diverse vegetation cover, and our personnel, along with the community members, planting trees. So I'd like to end the presentation there. And just to put that last slide into context, actually, Sombrado has been in production only for 3 years. And we have already started our progressive rehabilitation now. And that is something for us to be very proud of our teams. Thank you.